I spend hours trawling through the internet trying to find the latest proof of a deity. Fortunately, I found the perfect video that apparently has the proof we've been looking for. I'm excited to be shown the way. Hello, I'm the Skeptic. I watch videos on YouTube that make extraordinary claims, whether that's flat earth or strange conspiracies, but mostly the claim that a god is real and then explain why I can't accept their position. Before we get into today's video, please do subscribe, hit that bell notification to be alerted for my next video, and drop a like. That would be fantastic. In this God Squad video, an American Muslim is a lady that has proof of a god. As a relative newcomer to the tubes, like myself, with under 400 subscribers, I thought I'd give her video a chance. Before even starting the video, I noticed the dislikes on there, and assumed that her proof was so outstanding that atheists had disliked it because they finally had a claim they couldn't reject. But then, in this day and age, assuming can make an arse out of you and me.
Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings be upon you. I hope you have been well. Do we have proof that God exists?
I thought that's why you made the video.
Is our proof good enough? Yes, God does exist.
I don't think that just saying it is proof. If that was the case, so many things would exist. Terry Pratchett's anthropomorphic personifications would confirm that, with the bogeyman, Lady Luck, and the Hogfather, not to mention the imaginings of the eater of socks.
I know that's a bold claim, and of course this is a huge topic that I will not be able to tackle in a video less than 10 hours.
So is this shorter video not actually proof that God exists, but merely a video saying that one day there will be a 10-hour video to prove God? What on earth would take 10 hours to explain?
The simple thing that hit me the other day is, look, we believe in gravity, right? It's all around us.
I don't think you can say you believe in gravity. I think it's more accurate to say you can observe the effects of the force we call gravity. There's no need for belief when a force is observable. Gravity just is. Reliably. It's there. That thing that makes you fall over when you're drunk and lose your footing? Gravity.
Whether we want to deny it or not, gravity exists. If, for instance, I take, this cream here, and I say to this cream, you will stay up when I drop you, it's not going to work.
It's great you don't deny gravity, but I think I see where this is going. Though, was anyone else concerned that the cream jar didn't make a noise when it fell? Did it ever hit the ground? Is it still falling?
I cannot bend gravity to my will. It is a force all around us that controls our lives. We can't see it because we're human beings, and that's the first thing along your road to believing in God.
Well, that description wasn't completely accurate, but also gravity isn't supposed to be a thing you can see. Gravity is the word we use to describe the force of an object of mass pulling a smaller object of mass towards it. Though even that description was very basic and should in no means be used in teaching.
You have to understand how limited we are in our perception.
Limited in our perception of seeing that things fall because of a force? What?
I mean, even animals perceive things that we cannot as human beings.
Like what?
And we always think of ourselves as like greater than them, or, that they don't have as much brain power as we do.
That's up for debate, surely. It depends on what the situation is. A squirrel is much better at climbing trees than humans. Dogs are better at digesting raw meat than humans. Dolphins are better swimmers than humans. I failed to see the point here.
But we don't have as much instinct as they do either, right?
Don't we? What instinct exactly? Some birds' instinct is to fly south when the weather gets colder. That's not something I've planned on doing before. Or do you mean like the human instinct of sympathy? This has me thoroughly confused.
For example, and I found this so fascinating I wanted to share it with you. Mosquitoes follow the scent of exhaled carbon dioxide to find their next blood meal. Moths can hear ultrasonic calls of echolocating bats. Elephants communicate over long distances with infrasonic sounds. Many birds, like the zebra finch, can see extra colors. Arctic reindeer can see ultraviolet light to spot their next meal and avoid predators. Some species of snake can see heat, forming a kind of thermal image of prey. Sharks detect electric fields generated by muscle contractions in prey. Sea turtles can sense Earth's magnetic field, helping them navigate.
And humans have harnessed wireless technology that can't be seen, so what?
And so many more that it would make this video ridiculously long.
Are we getting to the proof yet? Which I'm going to assume is just going to be, you can't see those things, so because you can't see a God, it doesn't mean it's not there.
Think about yourself in this context. You only have your 5 senses, and we can't do anything as cool as some of those animals.
And some of those animals can't do things as cool as humans can, so...
The idea that we believe in gravity, though we can't see it, right? We observe its effects.
Which technically doesn't mean that we believe it, but we've already established that.
It's a force that affects us, that we can't really negotiate with, right? We can manipulate it once we understand it, but we can't really physically hold gravity. I'm never going to hold gravity, right?
You can't hold gravity because it's a word used to describe a force, much like the word love. Something else you can't physically touch, but you can see the effects of, or happiness. You can't touch sadness, but you can observe when things make you sad. I'm just preparing for, you can't see or touch God, but that doesn't mean it's not there.
Same with God. God is beyond our perception as human beings.
So then it wouldn't be demonstrable. If you can't perceive it, then how do you know it exists? That's like saying Rodney, the all-powerful vacuum cleaner, is beyond our perception, but is very real. Or any non-perceivable thing for that matter.
The beautiful thing about it is we're told multiple times throughout the Quran about our nature, about ourselves, which is why I love Islam so much.
I don't see how being told things that are inherently human proves that a book is true or that there is a deity.
Because every piece of advice is from your creator.
Wait. Are you saying a god wrote the book? Because if so, how could it get so many contradictions, like the first human being made from dirt or blood or nothing, I don't know, which are all written in the Quran. Plus, many people say that Muhammad wrote the Quran. But if, like you said, a god cannot be perceived by human senses, Muhammad wouldn't be able to hear or know what a god was saying, right?
It's like ignoring the owner's manual to any complex thing that you own. And when it breaks, not going to look for the answers in the owner's manual, but instead to other created things, right? Doesn't make any sense.
Or you could go and do a Google search and find that the owner's manual has a million contradictions, or that it tells you things that you already knew, but would make out that the makers of the thing that was broken couldn't possibly have known about how to fix the item in question at the time that the thing was actually made, because they were only lowly desert dwellers and had never seen a boat or a badger or whatever.
We have the owner's manual. And the Quran tells us, and I've talked about this in another video, that we have something called Fitrat Allah, or the natural inclination to believe in God. And being from an anthropological background, this is so clear from studying so many different ancient civilizations up till the modern day. We incline towards God. Why? Because we were built that way, and the Quran verifies this.
There are a few things to ask here. One, how do you know that the Quran is the word of God? Can you demonstrate it? Would it be fair to say you can't accept the word of God until you had demonstrated it? 2, how do you know that humans were built that way? 3, there are some civilizations that don't believe in a God because they were brought up being taught different things. So could it be that you were taught to believe in God? And 3B, how do you know which God to believe in? I'm going to guess because you were taught.
And Avicenna, who was one of the greatest Islamic philosophers of all time, actually ran with the idea that is found in verse 52, 35 to 36 in the Quran. And it says, were they created without any agent? Were they the creators? Did they create the heavens and the earth? No, they do not have faith. These verses tell us blatantly and challenge us to think outside of what we believe is humanly possible. We've seen over so many centuries that science evolves because our understanding continues to evolve.
Science is fluid because it's based off our limited human knowledge. I'm not even sure what that could mean. Another great case of, I don't understand how this works, so I'm going to just say a God did it. It'll be far more beneficial to say, I'm not sure how this works. People tell me a God did it, but rather than just accept that because that's what I was taught, I'm going to test it myself or observe others testing it and see if, in fact, it is explainable by something other than a non-demonstrable deity. Whew, after all that, I can understand why someone would just say, a God did it. Maybe I'll just start saying that from now on. It's much easier.
What doesn't change is what's within the pages of the Quran. And if you really study it and you get the best translation you can for it, because Arabic has 12 million words, okay, to I forget what the English language is, but it's so small compared to all of the nuanced words that are available in Arabic.
Does having more words in a language add to its validity when it comes to religious texts? Would that then mean that the Christian Bible translated into Arabic makes it more valid, or the Hindu texts being translated into Arabic? What about Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets? Does having an Arabic translation of that make it more valid too?
So plainly put, you can deny gravity's existence and try to jump off your roof and see how that works out for you. Just like you can deny that God exists and that hesitation is very telling, because where do you go with that? This is a terrible analogy. A God and gravity are poles apart. Gravity is an observable force. You can actually see how gravity works. Nothing a God has done is observable. People just say, that must have been God. It's never been demonstrated. So you've basically wasted this entire video. Roll the dice and die and see what happens.
So you're saying there's still a chance it could be wrong? Unlike gravity, which just is. Jumping off a building to your death is not the same as rolling a die.
But the better way is to use your wisdom and look at the world around you.
Sometimes people really should take their own advice.
And sift through the sources that we have.
It looks as if you're saying that all of your sources are the Quran, but in different translations. That's the same source, lady.
It might take you a while to come to the conclusion. There is a lot of effort behind it.
It seems to me there's less effort to just accept things without testing them.
But God exists just as surely as gravity does.
Is this your proof? Just saying it. In that case, Sophie the Unicorn of Joy exists just as surely as electromagnetism does.
And just because you can't see with your eyes or hear with your ears, there is something internal that you can tune into God with.
What, like a radio frequency? Surely a better way to prove God would be to just give everyone the same FM frequency. Then we could put all of this to bed.
You just have to practice. You just have to use it.
I'm not entirely sure what that means, but okay.
I sincerely hope that you find what you're looking for and that perhaps something made sense in this video.
The fact that you're understanding that jumping off a building would mean you come crashing to the ground was reassuring, I guess, but that's about it.
Always wishing you what is better. Assalamu alaikum.
But to perceive things that are unperceivable is impossible, unless it is possible, in which case it's perceivable, right? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure we actually got proof of a God. More wishy-washy blah 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 that got nowhere. But that's just me. Maybe you were convinced. Are you as convinced of a God as you are gravity? Let me know in the section below. Well, I'm going to skeptic this off as reaffirming I'm never going to reject gravity. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. From me, the Skeptic, stay safe, keep thinking logically and ask questions. Skepticism is the first step towards truth. See you next Saturday.